Hey, is this Kardell?
Yeah.
Kardell, what's up, my man?
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great. I cannot wait to do this. You ready for probably about 20-25 minutes?
Oh yeah, I'm good. We can do whatever I need to.
All right, my man. Let me load up these questions. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Oh yes, it's been a bit since I saw you because I saw you out in spring and you were doing pretty good. How's it been so far with summer workouts here with LSU?
Summer workout was great. I'm just using it as an opportunity to just, better myself, get myself ready for the season and things like that. I usually do the team workout, then I go with my trainer, Shy, and then I do my GLS workout since I can't get to New Orleans, so I'm working hard.
And I've heard a lot of great things about Jake Flint, the LSU, player development, strength and conditioning guy. Is he the real deal to you?
Oh yes, sir, most definitely. He's him, and not just him, only his staff also. They're a perfect group of guys. They have us taking a lot of lucrative steps to becoming a championship team, and it's like night and day. That's the best way to put it. Without going into anything about the past couple of years, but it's like night and day. Like they allow us to have fun in the weight room. So the workout is not 3 hours long just because they feel like it, or what we got a lot to do is quick and to get the job done. They focus more on preserving our bodies to get to the next level versus beating us down while we here. Coach Flint just himself, like he type of guy on the platform while you working out, make jokes, all kind of things. And it's just a fun vibe. It's like before you might have dreaded waking up at 7, but
Yeah.
now it's like you're ready to get to work out. So it's just a relationship that they built from December until now. I go see that. All the new staff members, we gelling together perfectly, and like it's the best it's ever been, honestly.
But that's really good to hear because we've heard a lot of stuff about this staff, but I think that's a fantastic thing you just said because we haven't heard really why or how and a lot of the details of what they are doing. I mean, we've heard a lot of stuff about SWAT teams and stuff like that, but overall, from what you've seen, what makes this staff so successful so far in becoming ingrained in the community? Kind of a seamless kind of transition into their life at LSU. What's made that happen? You think?
Just the fact that they allow us to be men. Coach Jacob literally would tell us, "Don't come in the weight room on the weekends because we need that time to ourselves." We got a break coming up for the fourth, and they like go out of town. They're allowing us to be pros. That's the best way to put it. In the past it might have felt military, but here it's just like I'm not gonna say it's loose. I'm gonna just say like they trust us enough to know that we got a job to do. So anything undisciplined is in your hands. It's just like if you come late to a workout, that's on you. It's kind of like they put us in the you versus you mindset. They're not gonna hover over you. They're not gonna beat a dead horse. It's kind of like if you want to get left behind, that's your choice. We're gonna do everything, to bring you along. If that makes sense, they
Absolutely.
talk to everybody. It's not separated. Coach Flint will joke with me the same way he would joke with, a punter. He's gonna lift everybody up, the whole staff. The weight room staff, every single one of them. It's like, and then there are people that have been somewhere, so they was able to see how certain things was done, and they took that and brought it here, and it's working out perfect. Like I said, having fun at the weight room, having fun while you're working out. They play all the music we like. You listen to,
Yes.
Lil Baby, Young Boy. You listen to everybody, your favorite artist, and that puts you in a mode to where you want to work out. And on top of that, you got coaches that don't mind you, having fun with it. They don't try to take the steam out of it, if that makes sense.
Of course that does, and that's I think that might be. Do you think it could be that maybe this staff can relate to you guys more in age potentially?
Oh yeah, most definitely. No, that Coach Flynn is 39, I believe. So
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
sort of close to that. So they understand, how young people, especially young men, at that, want to operate. Like I said, it's in and out. Our Wednesday run probably is like 40 minutes to an hour. We in and out of that. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you time to get your work in and then, get your body right. We got a hell of a fall camp coming up. We got a season coming up. Florida State being the first game. They're making sure they do everything that will, propel us to winning the championship, which I feel we do also. And I feel like we're taking the right steps as a team and as a brother to do exactly what we want to do this year.
Cardell, this is great. I mean, I'm loving talking to you, but I got to go back in time a bit here, man, because I mean, I think you've got a career people really need to pay attention to. You played your high school ball at Southern Lab. You had a reputation for being just about one of the nastiest, most vicious offensive linemen I've seen come out of the state in a while. Plenty of pancake blocks, absolutely sitting fools down. Your film became like a sensation online in 2018, 2019, and in scouting rooms. Where does that mean streak in your play come from? Almost like you play offensive lineman like you're a defensive lineman.
It come from my pops, man.
Hell yeah.
My pops tells me young, to dominate every opponent. And since 3 years old, I've been that. And, just it's in my nature. That's the best way to put it. My brother plays sports, my uncle plays sports, my pops played at Jackson State and at LSU. So him instilling in me, to just dominate every rep, man. When I was 3 years old and I was on defense, before every first drive we was on defense, that had me jump outside and hit the center for no reason. It's a strike clearance. So, old school technique. So it made me mean just in a good way. Off the field, I'm a genuine person. Like people say, I'm like a teddy bear out the field, but on the field, it's a quick switch.
And that's what I usually hear about the greats, man, is that like off the field they're chill, on the field, man, they'll pop you one, and they're all business, and that's just so funny. They're just go off sides, just take the flag, but you send a message. That is so youth sports. That is so youth football. I love it. At Southern Lab, you're playing for Marcus Randall, and you guys won back-to-back state titles your first 2 seasons. And you played next to some future Tiger teammates, Ty Davis Price, who's playing for the Niners right now, looking good for the Niners too. And of course, your guy Damone Clark, who I rated him as the #1 Tiger of 2021 on our site, just for what he did for LSU last year. What was that high school experience like next to those type of players?
High school experience as a whole was just, amazing. Me choosing Southern Lab before Coach Roundy even got there was the best decision I could have made. It taught me how to navigate, with my people and for my people.
Absolutely.
Being at a black school, at a black private school, it was nothing but excellence, in my opinion, till the last 2 years. So they, did that egregious postseason ban. That's another topic. Having Coach Round as a coach was just, man, it was amazing, man. And we still talk about this to this day. What would have happened if he would have stayed those 2 years? Having him,
oh yeah,
Coach Slayton, Coach Brownfield, Coach Pat, who's at Woodline with Coach Rondo right now, looking, be a head coach somewhere soon. We had a lot of guys around us who cared about us. It wasn't so much of a business as it is in college. High school, it's all about that coach caring. And with Coach Rondo being an LSU Tiger and going for as he did with his career, he understand how to connect with us. And when you got coaches that can understand how to connect, and you talking about a coach that can bring his team together, playing with Ty and Damone was, great too. We always played against each other since we was little. I've been playing against Damone in basketball for years. He played for the Kings. I played for the Bayou State Tigers. So we used to always see each other playing basketball. Him, Quincy Mitchell, who's at Grambling, Tyler Gidget, who's at UL, CJ Willis, who at Independence JUCO College. All this really, banded together. Playing with them two guys was amazing. Damone got me better as a player. Him, Chris Allen. Chris Allen was a 6'4" linebacker. Blitzing. I'm in ninth grade. He blitzing me, and that a great player. Him, Dorian Welch, Curtin Williams, Janoy Robinson, a lot of these guys, Deion Rainey, man, it's a lot.
That's a list.
It's a lot of guys. Yeah, it's a lot of guys on that Summer Lab team who made me who I am. I don't think I would be here without them, honestly. Because you talking about me starting in the 8th grade, I had to go through some guys who were, bullying people. They standing 5 inches taller than me at the time, and I'm battling them every day. So, Summer Lab definitely is, a pivotal point in my career, and it made me who I am. Time Damone got me better. They pushed me, I pushed them, and it was always a great relationship. Never got in any fights, never had any words on the field, you know what I'm saying? So just them two and just amongst other athletes and just Southern Lab period, made all of us, go hard.
Man, and I really agree with you there. If Randall hadn't been ousted, he would have won championships as long as you guys had been there. I mean, and probably further than there. That guy was a hell of a coach. And
we was on our way to getting ranked in the nation.
Yeah.
Before that happened. So
absolutely.
Everything happened for a reason. Though it taught us the politics and things, and it taught us, how it is when you win. People gonna hate winning.
Absolutely. I mean, and you saw that too. It puts the target on your back. It makes you the hunted instead of the hunter, and that's a whole different set of issues. And that's what happened. And when you were recruited by LSU out of this school, out of Southern Lab, where you guys are just stacked with talent, you got Ty Davis Price going to LSU, you got Damone Clark going to LSU, and you're right behind them in the class. You first committed way back in 2016, though, after you went to a Tigers camp. What happened on that day at that camp to turn you into a Tiger?
I would just say tradition of LSU. It's a great university. First and foremost, no matter who's the coach, no matter who's the staff, LSU will always be LSU and the school that I would, cherish and love. So just that alone what made me commit. And on top of that, Les Miles, being the coach at the time, I liked everything he told me. And they stood on it. Coach O too. I liked everything about them, everything they did that time when they were recruiting me. They told me what would come with me being a Tiger, and they didn't lie. And it was just a fact of being home, and kind of finishing what my pops did too. That was a big part of it. But being 15, being able to realize the position you in now at 15 to, commit to Super D1 college, I think I was kind of shell-shocked at first and just committed. But the reason I didn't switch it is because I got the meaning of being the LSU Tiger commit and, focusing on being a player when it was time to sign the dotted line. So LSU history, the alumni, everything about it, is why you want to commit to LSU. And I understood a little piece of that then, but as I grew up being a Tiger, basically, because I was 15 going on 16 at the time, so I basically grew up being a Tiger.
Yeah.
Going to every game every weekend, going to every camp every weekend. Still, I fell in love with the school itself and the people.
And this is way back in like July 2016 when you committed, way back there.
Yeah.
And Les Miles was still the head coach. This is almost 6 years. This is 6 years ago, basically. What were your impressions of Les Miles? I mean, you said you liked him. He passed the test before Orgeron. What were your impressions of Les Miles when he was recruiting you?
Well, first he was recruiting Chris. That's how I ended up meeting him. I used to see him and Cameron coming up to the school. And then, one time when I was at the school, I was in 7th grade. I had just got done playing middle school ball or whatever. and came and told me he was gonna see me soon when I was in like the 7th grade. When he was coming up there to recruit Chris, he was walking through the back of the school, going into the gym where Coach Randall's office is at. Everything's smiling somewhere else. So the gym is right. The coach's office is right in the gym, so he stepped up to the back gate, walked up the stairs. He was like, "What's your name, Kardell?" Oh yeah, I'll see you soon. And that's what I mean by like they held up, they handled the bar because him telling me he'll see me soon. He knew what kind of player they were out to get. But just coming to Les Miles, and to this day, I still appreciate the relationship we had. And just seeing how he reacted with his players, seeing the way he coached Atlanta, seeing the way he coached, all the players that came through, man. You talking about Leonard Fournette, you talking about Jamal Adams, Tre'Davious, or you talking about guys that's superstars in the league right now, and he got all those superstars on that team to gel together.
That's true.
That's a different kind of culture. You could get all that star power to gel together and create something big. So that's what I like. I always been a smart kid, so I can understand things that are normal, high school or middle school shouldn't understand. So me being able to see how he can get them guys to lock in like that, and even though they might not have won a championship, they still were successful.
Yeah.
So just seeing what them guys loved him and appreciated him, that's a coach I wanted to play for. And it wasn't no different when Coach O became the head coach because they had the same respect for him. So.
And when you were a little guy, growing up watching your LSU Tigers with your dad, I mean, which players did you love watching that really just bonded you with LSU completely?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Lael Collins, for sure. That Texas A&M game with him and Myles Garrett.
Yes. That was a duel.
Game. I'm talking about the one where I think it must have been inside zone. He drove Myles Garrett out the hole, and then it came right behind him and truck that Texas A&M defender. That had to be one of the best games I've ever seen. Lael Collins. Who else? Like I said, Jamal Adams, Leonard Fournette, Jordan Jefferson. When he was the QB, I loved the way he played. Honey Badger, of course. I remember sitting at a friend's house watching that Georgia game.
Yes.
In the SEC championship. Really most of all the players. Darius Geis. Watching him play. Man, he was amazing. And, it's tragic what happened with him and everything over accusation, but what he did at LSU can't be taken away. He was a great player. I loved watching him since high school. Clyde. Me and Clyde cousins. Found that out during when I got to LSU. Me and Clyde was cousins. But watching Clyde, just watching guys from my city and from my state, just ball out. And even guys from the state, just watching them take on the coach of Louisiana. That's what I was impressed with.
Wait.
When you got guys. What you said?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I was just going to say, when you got guys that understand who they are and being that dude, and they know their dog, and they can come in and say, I need this guy on side of me to play good, and I got to care about this guy on side of me playing good so we can get to where we need to get. That's just what you look up to. Because everybody, you got players who this girl, you probably know, you got players who are assholes, won't help the next guy, only think to down another player. When I watch them guys, all I've ever seen them do was uplift everybody. And that's the type of player I am. That's the type of player I want to be.
Wow. And I'm just stunned that you said you were a cousin of Clyde. I mean, that's awesome. You guys are cousins. That's fantastic.
Yeah, Emory Jones cousins too. Seriously?
Emory Jones? Yeah. Wow. Emory's awesome, man. I've gotten to know him over the last year and a half or so. He's fantastic, man. That's pretty crazy. You guys could be playing on the same offensive line as cousins. And you were actually just talking about your city of Baton Rouge. Your family had some hardship there during, and a lot of families during August 2016 with the horrible floods. What helped you and your family get through that time?
Oh, just insurance. That's the best way to put it. Having house insurance, man, and the Most High, guiding us through. It was a hard time, but my parents pride me on having structure. You seen a lot of people going through hell because, they might not have had house insurance because, let's be real, as hot as Louisiana get, you would never think it'll flood. So,
Yeah.
Baton Rouge at that, you would never think Baton Rouge would flood. Even with Katrina came, Baton Rouge didn't flood. So, the fact that happened, a lot of people were prepared for it. But my parents, thankfully, know a lot of people who fix houses and they came through for us. So getting through that was hard. We had to stay at a couple people's houses, which wasn't nothing major. It wasn't that long. So, it was, I can't say, it wasn't terrible. The fact the house got messed up was terrible, but the overall aspect of the flood, it just gave me tunnel vision. I remember jumping rope at night in the place we were staying at parking lot. We stayed at a hotel for a minute. I remember jumping rope in that parking lot, just getting ready, getting that hunger back. And the same hunger I had then, I got it back now. So, I'm prepared for this season. I'm going to do everything I can to become a great. And maybe it's this year. I get out of here, maybe next year, I'm going to be a great. This year, I'm going to be an All-American. So everything with the flood, with something like with everything tying in together, prepared me for hard times, prepared me for the future.
Well, and who also prepared you for your future? Would you say your father? You said your father went to LSU, right? What kind of role did he have in your development?
Every single detail.
Yeah.
Pops made sure I was lifting weights at 6. Pops had my brother spotting. Everything I learned is from him, and I'm forever grateful. He made me just this strong as I am. Benching 500 pounds, squatting 600 pounds. All that's him. He built every single piece of it. So he was a big influence. Having a real father figure and a mother figure that's real people and real genuine people can shape you into being a great person. And that's what my parents did for me, especially my father. He taught me how to be a man, what men do, what men don't do. As a man, you should never be, gossiping. As a man, you should always make sure you're a leader. I remember in school, which I never got in trouble for being a father, but that's how he raised me. But I know he used to always tell me, if you ever get in trouble, you better be the one that started it and did it, and not the one that went behind some other people. So he just Pops taught me how to be a man. That's the same thing I'm gonna pass on to my kids.
I love that. I mean, during this time where you're, wondering whether to keep your commitment to LSU, and you're going through being committed for basically 2.5 years, what kept your commitment so solid during that time? And Alabama was pursuing you. A lot of different schools were pursuing you. We lost Kardell. We lost Kardell.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, man. Sorry about that. We lost connection somehow.
Nah, you good. It must have been. It's storming out here, so it could have been my phone or your phone.
All right, my man. I'll just continue. Joining that 2019 national championship winning squad as a freshman. How did you feel everything was going throughout that summer with that 2019 team?
The summer was great. Just getting in. I've been up committed so long, so I know I was already. They take me under their wing, treat me like, a little brother, show me the ropes, especially the mom, Patrick Queen, to Dick Charles, Grant. All the guys, Caleb Vaughn, they didn't see me as a freshman. They seen me as, a guy, coming in to play before I got hurt. But that summer was amazing, man. You should be playing with all these guys and looking at what they are now. It's crazy. Because in the summer, we couldn't say we had an identity in 2019 summer, but we showed our identity. So it was just great. They got us better as freshmen competitors.
Could you tell Joe Burrow was special then, like Heisman #1 overall pick type of special?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Joe just needed the offense and the coach to put him in the position to do what he did. Joe was gonna be Joe as soon as he got the right situation, and he showed everybody what he did the right situation, being at Ohio State, not playing, behind some great guys that, no shade them guys. The guys he was behind they were some dudes. You talking about Heisman runners too. But in certain situations, it's not wrong to go off on your own and build your own story. And with Joe doing that, coming to the first year, it was a great year. But then when he got the offensive scheme behind his talent and with the receivers we had, getting out of, kind of one-dimensional offense to something that just lit the world on fire. Everybody shined because they was always that guy. They was always a dog. They was always that great player. They needed the plays behind them to showcase that. So Joe most definitely was always that dude. When he got the opportunity to show he's that dude in the right offense, you seen what we did. And that goes for everybody.
How much were you anticipating playing that season as a freshman?
A lot. I came in camp strong before I got hurt. I was everything. I am everything, and so not I was. Excuse. And then just you get hurt, it took me back. Lingering injuries, injuries kept me out for 2 years and a half. So I was expecting to play a lot. They even told me I was going to play a lot. And I was, first team reps, everything. Something behind Diesel, something behind Adrian, with Burst, who were both great players for the year.
And that team was stacked, but that offensive line was stacked too. But there was a lot of wondering about who was going to step in here and there. So I'm really not surprised to hear that, which is why I kind of asked that question, which made what happened in August kind of tough for a lot of people, especially you, obviously. On August 14th, 2019. You suffered a season-ending injury just a month before that first game. Can you take us through what happened?
We were doing goal line drills, and watching the play, I feel like a power feeling, but watching the play, fourth quarter, Smith trying to come down on the block, and he got pushed into my leg and ended up hitting me that hard, and it snapped my whole ankle. But I didn't really feel it at first. Well, I didn't really feel it at all. I guess the trauma or whatever from the injury is why I couldn't feel it. But they snapped it back into place, and everything was going from there. Only thing that was running through my mind was looking at my foot. Like, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
oh,
it was
man.
crazy. It was a nasty injury. But without it, I feel like I wouldn't be, where I am at today. So, the Most High kind of sits you down to notice your surroundings before He puts you in certain places. If I'd never had that injury, I probably never wouldn't, seen the things I've seen, other things I know, and know how to maneuver through the things that I had to maneuver through then and now. So I'm not mad about it because I know success is gonna come this year. Success is gonna come when I hit the league. But it's my time now, and I don't have no problem with what I went through because it shaped me and it taught me how to, maneuver through politics and maneuver through, just bad surroundings and toxic people. If you understand what I'm saying. So
Absolutely.
that day was the day I feel like I became me again, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense because I've actually had a few really bad ankle injuries in my time, and I really do get a lot of what you're saying. Although you were an LSU Tiger prepared to be on that 2019 team. That's something that I can never understand. And most people see an injury and then they just forget about all the grueling rehab and physical therapy work behind the scenes. Did that take longer than expected? How did that process go for you?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. The process was a 2-year journey, man. And I know you got the what's that post page, Tiger Talk, whatever.
Oh yeah.
They think they know what's going on. I've been seeing people.
Tiger droppings.
Yeah, he can't lose weight. That wasn't the issue. I understand you could say people passed him up. That wasn't the issue. You know, I understand people don't pass me up when I'm not even practicing. But, you know, let them tell it. You know, I wouldn't know what I was supposed to do. But that wasn't the case. And I just had to say to clear that up. My injury ended up messing with me to the point of where when I first broke it, I should have went to GLS from jump so you could teach me how to walk again and teach me how to balance my body and, you know, move my body the right way. Because coming up injured that's gruesome like that, you're only on one leg. So when it gets time to run again, you wasn't able to build that right leg up, so your left leg doing all the work. So my body came out of balance, if that makes sense. Because I'm on one leg, my left leg super strong. My right leg skinny as a pencil, you know, so it's not strong at all. And I tried to come back too early on my ankle. Like I literally broke my ankle in August. I came back to practice in October. You know, that was the biggest mistake because all I did was ended up messing up my hip, messing up, started having knee pains, foot and ankle swollen 24/7. I'm still running on it, injuring myself more because I rushed my rehab telling them I was ready. And that was just adrenaline and anxiousness in me to come back. So I ended up messing myself up even more, and it took 2 years to fix me. I didn't get right till last summer when I went to GLS. And they sat me down and had a talk with me. You know, I had a full body scan. I had a full body test, movement, everything, how I walk, how I run. They sit there and showed me, well, look, that's why you have the pain. Well, when you walking outside the college, which is, you know, putting pressure on your hip bones, putting pressure on your ankles. You're walking on your heels, and you should be on the front of your feet. The heels, you know, walking through your heels is the reason why, you know, you might have some people pop their Achilles because you putting all that pressure and all that weight on one thing. You know, my right leg used to hurt so bad, and my hip used to hurt so bad to where I get out the bed in the morning and I couldn't even walk. You know, so I had to learn how to walk again, how to run again, how to move again. And when I learned that, I found myself feeling better, which is why, you know, this past season, you know, when I came off my slight tear in my plantar fascia, I ended up starting. You know, the whole thing was just about getting healthy. You know, you out there at practice, you getting ready to go in a one-on-one, and then all of a sudden your ankle and your hip just start hurting, and now you limping, and everybody like, what's wrong with you? He's like, my hip. So, yeah, the 2 years is tough. Dealing with injuries. But as I said today, you know, when you learn better, you do better. So if I could take it back, I probably wouldn't have came back off that ankle probably till all the way to the next spring. Yeah. All the way to spring. I would say all the way to, not the spring, to the next season. I probably came back that fall camp going into the Kobe season, if that makes sense.
Oh no, that makes total sense. I get what you're saying because we actually even had a question about you being cleared to return that year by October, like just like you said, and what happened there, and you completely just answered that question. That really, you're solving a lot of mystery, Kardell, for a lot of LSU Tiger fans who may not have known what was going on behind the scenes. We keep losing Kardell. Either that or he just keeps hanging up on me. Oh, no, here comes Kardell again. Kardell, you're solving so much mystery for the LSU fans, my man.
Man, you know, I should have did an interview like this a long time ago, but I'm the type of personality that, you know, action talk more than less than me talk. Cause, you know, you live in nowhere with propaganda and perspective is what people go by, but they never ask the person what's going on. So I see everything. I just choose not to say that.
Well, and that's why we have to ask you this question. Watching that 2019 offensive line as closely as you were able to, front row seat, who do you feel deserves the most credit for LSU's Joe Moore Award that year?
Everybody. It'd be crazy for me to say one person, you know, everybody in that room. You know, who wants to wake up on as a freshman in college summer? You from Baton Rouge? Who wants to wake up at 8 a.m. to go do drills?
Yeah.
You know, you're a freshman. The grind that those 5 guys who started, you know, put us through and brought us along, they showed us hard work and made us understand that to get what we need to get, you have to do this. You know, you have to do what other O-lines are not doing. You know, that them 5 guys as a whole showed us what it means to be brothers and go out there and play for your brother. You know, we haven't had that in the room, you know, since then.
I just asked that because there's a lot of people who don't believe James Craig was developing you guys adequately. How do you see it from your perspective, James Craig's career with you at LSU?
And no disrespect to him, but I don't disagree with those people. That's why, you know, when you hear me talking, you hear me speak about the players and the guys we had with us, you know. And this is nothing, and people can vouch for this, and this is nothing against him. Some coaches just feel like they don't need to focus on freshmen, you know, but it have been times you know, he'll put me to the side, hey, I'm tell coach, you know, that you get some one reps. I believe in, you know, that's something Coach Craig should come up to me and say, you know, the coach should be putting for you, not the players. And you know, me, I'm the kind of person. That's why I say where learning come in. If I see something in someone that's, you know, put a bad taste in my mouth, you know, I gotta back away from it. And maybe you should do that with your coach. But sometimes you have to, you know, and I can't speak for nobody else. I can only speak for me and what I do. But there's been times we've been in the hotel and, you know, everybody get a test before the game, and you know, the 2 freshman linemen traveling, we don't get a test. You know, how you gonna develop us if you're not coaching us?
Yeah.
And that's what I thought the downfall was. You know, there's been times where, you know, he tell me I'm doing something wrong, but whoever he felt like starting this after the guys left, the 2019 team left when he had to coach us. You know, I feel like I said, all this is just truth. No offense to him. I still feel like he's a great coach on certain things, but I just gotta tell the truth, you know. So, and there's no slight of him, no disrespect. You know, I still appreciate him for everything he did, but I feel like if he would have focused more on everybody, then he wouldn't have had a bad COVID and a lot of things, you know, probably, you know, wouldn't have happened. If that makes sense. You know, you can't just coach certain people.
No,
you know, because and Coach Falk, you know, I love Coach Falk. Coach Falk always tell us, not talking about Coach Craig, of course, but just saying in general, you know, when you got a coach that can coach, you know, he make the players love the game. And he tell that to his guys, you know, everybody love Coach Falk, from the running back to the punters, you know. And I feel like if Coach Craig took more of that approach to make it fun and, you know, talk to everybody, you know, have love for everybody, then we would have been a different unit. You know, you can't let this guy mess up and you get on him on another and don't get on him. But when this guy mess up, you get on him and this and that, and you want to go out. Because me, I'm the type of guy, I'm gonna go like, wait, he could get the same thing. These guys older than me, you know, we still young at the time. You know, we still basically freshmen going to spring. So, you know, we looking like, wait, bro, like, we gonna model what they do. If you let them do that, we're gonna do the same thing. And every coach has their flaws, but when you don't try to change your flaws, that's when you get caught up in certain things. So I appreciate Coach Craig, and I wish him the best for whatever he do. He left me some things I still cherish, and I go with to this day. But some things are right, some things are wrong. You know, that's just the truth.
Absolutely, and that's something that I kind of wondered about, and I'm really grateful to you for being candid with us. It seemed like LSU fans, you know, during 2020, it was a really bizarre, darker year for everyone. From the fans' point of view, but especially the players and everything you guys were having to go through on and off the field. Everything, you know, from games being crazily rescheduled, players transferring, opting out, everything that was happening with COVID and everything that was going on with the shootings and all that, and the protests and the burning of of cities and stuff. It was just getting crazy for everyone, for every possible reason you can think of. Can you take us through that time at LSU for you?
For me, still being, severely injured, but trying to play through it, which is stupid. I'm not even gonna, that put me in a depressive state. Watching people who got to coach you every day, watch them, give up on you, watching them think you're not that person anymore. From me getting put on a walk-on bus before, and there's no fighting a walk-on or something, but I want to ride to the bus. I want to ride to the game with the team too. I shouldn't be on the bus with the parents and other people come to the game. I should be on the bus with my teammates. Different things like that. And it's no offense, but I watch certain people on that staff give up on me, and that's something I'll never forget. As a player, just a person, going through something, and that's why it's different from this staff. And to get back on topic, that year it was just a lot of toxic things going on. And I'm not even with Coach O. Coach O, a great coach. Coach O, a great person. But the people around him, the people he had in position, was somewhat of the problem to me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
When you a coach, and when you're a coach and you coach, you got to have compassion. You can be strict with compassion, if that makes sense. Prime example, Coach Brad. Coach Brad will get on us, bro, but he loves us. And we get on us, he teaches us. He doesn't just get on us and make us feel shitty and it's no instruction. Coach Brad get on you, you did something. If he don't tell you, that means you did good. He's the best thing that ever happened to the room and ever happened to me personally. Not just because I knew him from Florida, but just because the way he coached and his approach to everything. If we had more coaches like Coach Brad, like Coach Kane, like Coach Flint, like Coach, the coaches that we got now, then we would have been a whole better team. Coach O, as a head coach, you can't control everything. You don't know everything.
Yeah.
So him as a coach, to me personally, I couldn't see him getting fired because I always feel like it wasn't him. It was the people he had around him. That's my opinion. But when you a coach, you can't see everything that's under you. But anything that gets told to him, anything that comes to him is told by someone else. So he don't know what's going on. He got a million things going on today. So there's a lot of people around him that, made that staff that year. It's not a good staff, man. Just being honest. We had Coach Shep, with I think he was the coach at the Lions now, Coach Jeff. We had guys like that on the staff amongst other people. I'm pretty sure some people I'm leaving out who cared about it. But when you got half the people who care and you got half people who seem like they don't care, then it's not gonna mix right.
It was
when you got people, when you got coaches on the game, they more worry about if your shirt tucked in than what's actually going on in the field. You could be on the sideline, your shirt not tucked in. You got a coach come and yell at you to the top of your lungs over a shirt not being tucked in. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you just and it's real life event. Like, so how you gonna focus on the game when you're not worried about my shirt tucked in? So my shirt tucked in is the biggest, not being tucked in is the biggest problem right now, and not the game, plan. You kind of see what I'm saying?
They're more focused on these optics and dumb things rather than the substance of it.
Exactly.
Wow. And you thought? Did you think? Was Bo Pelini one of those coaches who really didn't give a crap about the players? I've heard a lot about Pelini being one of them.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I never really had any worries with Coach Bo Pelini. That was more of a defensive thing. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
Coach Raymond not being on staff anymore, hurting this. But they got a good coach in his replacement. He a coach with a great rap sheet, and I believe our new quarterback coach gonna do some great things with those guys in the room. They already doing great things now, but just talking about when you got a staff that's divided between good and bad, it's like mixing wine with all in line. I mean, all in vinegar. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like I said, I never had any worries with him. It was just how you doing, coach, and keep it moving. This staff, everybody from the people we have working in the office, from the people recruiting, this staff is everybody loves everybody. Like I can walk in and have a conversation with the D-line coach, Coach Kane, who a great coach, funny dude, love him. Me and him have a relationship. I can walk in and go talk to Coach Poland. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do that before. It was divided. I'm only talking to my guys. I'm only coaching my guys. Coach Kane will be running. Coach Kane will come motivated. Coach Poland will come motivated. With this staff and players all together as one, and we moving as one, and that's gonna make us win this championship this year and be great. We weren't moving as one a year ago, and that could have been fixed. But when you got your head coach who's a great guy, and he's pushing having efforts for everything to be fixed, he can't do it alone. They got to get on the same page with him.
Yeah.
At the same time, when you've been with these people, him as being a head coach, when you've been with these people all these years, you probably thinking they know what they're doing, and sometimes they don't. So that's how it is sometimes.
Well, in 2021, your third year at LSU, you saw action, in 6 games. I think in 2020, you only got into the South Carolina game, right?
Exactly.
And so, 2021, things were starting to look a lot more up. You got into 6 games, starting in 2, and in my mind, from what I've seen, not only at the time, but then also watching the film back, Kardell, you put in some strong performances and kind of led the way for your high school teammate TDP to break some records against Florida and have that 1,000-yard season, which no one saw coming. Did you feel you were really making the impact on the team? Did you feel you were making the impact the team had missed all year on the offensive line?
Well, definitely. I feel like, I should have been the starter. But at the same time, like I said, understand the things, now I understand at the beginning of the season before I got hurt, I should have put in more work in fall camp. I should have realized that we got a new line coach and it's a new agenda. Coach Brad not going to give you that. Coach Brad might have felt like I should have been the starter, but he wanted me to go get it. And the first couple weeks of fall camp, I didn't go grab it. And that's my fault. That's not nobody but me. But as I'm working hard and I'm going to grab it, things start to happen. And that's why I respect Coach Brad because he didn't have to allow me to work my way into the lineup after being injured again. He could have said, well, this guy's done, so we're going to put him back. Nah, he didn't do that. And he wouldn't do that to nobody, not just because of me.
Yeah.
Coach Brad believed in me. Coach Brad knew that I would be a difference. And that's why he put me in that position. And I knew I would be a difference. When I got my foot right, I'm jumping rope. I'm training 2 times as hard as the same way I'm training now. So I was semi-prepared for the moment. That's the best way to put it. I never started the game at LSU in 3 years. So I had some kinks to work out. Once I worked the kinks out, it was merch, as we say. Like it was finito, it was finished. Texas A&M game. I feel like I had a great game. I went against the Marvin Hill, one of the best pass rushers in the nation at the time. No hurries, no sacks, no nothing. And it's crazy how they don't talk about that, but I'm going to get them some to talk about this shit. But but like I said, I was preparing myself, and Coach Brad got behind me. Even when some people in the line were probably thought I couldn't do it, he believed in me. Coach O believed in me. They knew I could, and that's why I said I appreciate it. Honestly, I feel like Coach Kirby never gave me the opportunity, but Coach Brad, Coach O, and the people in that staff feel like I could do it, and they threw me in there finally, and I showed it.
You started that epic game versus A&M last year, the final game of the regular season. And there's an early play, I really believe, Kardell, that set the tone for what would become a crazy last-second LSU victory. It's 4th and 1. We give it to Ty, your close friend from Southern Lab, and he crashes through the line and gets 4 or 5. But your block is so key. Like, man, you just equalize this DT's huge push up front. This guy comes flying through, and you just equalize him. You just bury him. and you two kind of fall together at the same time. Could you feel in that moment, I'm in a groove here. It's happening. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. as a lineman trying to work on my technique, man, I'm just thankful I'm athletic enough and I'm blessed enough to recover because I took a bad step. That's why we failed again. I took a false step. I remember talking about I had a down block, which meant I had to step with my left. I took a false step, but I was still able to get under him enough to get just enough push for time to get through. But if I would have took the right step at first, the top I would have been gone for however many yard run. But in that moment, I'm nervous. This is my first 4-for-1. This Texas A&M, they beat Bama. It's a big game. And like I said, I took a false step. But like I said, I was athletic enough to, overcome that false step and, still move him out the way. So, man, it was crazy. So, honestly, I thought he didn't get it just out there false step. Line and, 4-for-1, everything's critical, everything's detailed. So I take the false step and I keep, going hard, working hard. And the play we get the first time, like, okay, that can't happen again. I got lucky that time.
Wow. So you screwed up on that play, actually. You actually took a... Wow. Okay, I'm so glad I asked you about that play of all plays because to me, showing you dominating against guys nonstop, I expect you to do that, Kardell. But showing you struggle and then recover within the same play in a play that you should have, that guy should have come in and clean Ty's clock in the backfield. You totally just you put your body on the line and just completely take that dude out. I'm so glad I was able to find that play really quick and put that to you because just hearing that is very intriguing for your future. There's some games last season where you were making some really great blocks, and I feel like the way you're talking about the two, comparing them, that Brad Davis replacing James Craig in late May 2021, that really has helped your development. Am I right in saying that?
Man, you are 100% right. Man, Coach Brad, when I get to the league, when I become everything I'm become, man, it's because of a couple people, and he one of them. First, my pops, my coaches, and Coach Brad. Man, he developed everybody. Coach Brad gonna coach the walk on when Coach Craig wouldn't even look at a walk on. Coach Brad gonna coach everybody. Phillip and Lance Smith, Balestra, Tristan Train got a scholarship now, but those guys make the room. They go through the most stress at practice. They go through non-stop workouts just to come on Saturday and probably not play. Coach Brad coaches them in the position to put them in the position of what he can tell Coach Kelly that Villalobos and Lance to play, even though they walk on. Mm-hmm. He coaches everybody the same, and he coaches everybody to become something better than they was the year before. It's night and day, man. Honestly, it's night and day. And like I said, it's no disrespect to Coach Craig. There's no disrespect to nobody. But as a player, some coaches, some people like to think we don't know anything, but we playing the game. We live it. So I know when I got a coach that care, and I know when I got a coach that's just worried about his guys or who he thinks, is what. And Coach Brad, man, he developed me. He's still developing me. Still get on me about my hands. Still get on me about taking the right steps. But it's because he wants to see me doing great things, man. And I'm forever grateful for him. I'm forever grateful for the new staff. I love going to workouts. I love looking at the O-line competition and seeing my name first or top 5, or looking at how I got the strongest bench, the fastest hit score. I love the competition. I love seeing that. And this staff has no picks. I don't feel like it's in politics with this staff. And that's the difference. We're going to do something great, and it's because we got great people leading us.
I remember you even just mentioning Lance and Smith just a second ago, a good walk-on who I saw playing some really good reps in spring. I love how you're mentioning guys like that. That shows what a teammate you are in my mind.
Oh teammates. You know, we grind too hard together not to have some love for each other. You know, I mentioned them guys show how great of a Coach Brad is because he coached them the same.
Do you feel you guys are playing for the best O-line coach in America?
100%. He is the best O-line coach. What he did in Missouri, what he did at Arkansas. You know, if he would have stayed at Florida, I probably would have decommitted. Everybody know that.
That's how. Well, I mean, that's how good he is. You would leave LSU for Florida. Wow, that's how good. Wow, Brad Davis. I'm so glad we hired that dude, though. LSU's O-line needed that 180 turn, man.
It's about results, and Coach Brad gives results.
And, you know, I got to ask you this: when LSU hired head coach Brian Kelly, what were your first thoughts?
Well, I'm the type of person, I don't judge a book by its cover. I gotta interact with the person. I gotta see the person, see how the person acts. And we made the right hire. You know, even though I love Coach as a coach, you know, I can control but I just remember during spring his helmet, I messed up on the play. I was tired. Coach Brian Kelly pulled me to the side and he tells me, you know, hey, it's okay. I know why you messed up. You messed up because you're tired. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Go out there and don't mess up again and do better. You got it. He motivated me. You know what I'm saying? More or less of getting on me. He coached me. And that's all you have to do as a coach, is be a coach. But sometimes coaches blame players for their structure or their scheme isn't, you know, worth shit. But not the staff, not them. You know, they don't blame us. And it's actually us. They make sure that they put us in a position to do the best things we can do. And if we don't do them, that's on us.
When I was down
Coach Kelly.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Oh, no, you got to say Coach Kelly's a great coach so far.
Well, I mean, Kelly has really seemed to take an eye into your development and the offensive line's development just all around. He seems to really have a key, significant interest in you guys. Do you feel he's really been hands-on with you guys throughout spring?
I would say it's kind of like 50-50. You know, he allowed Coach Brad to coach his guys. You know, he's been hands-on to a certain extent, but overall, you know, he let Coach Kelly just let his coach. That's, you know, you got a great coach. You know, you see Nick Saban all the time. He didn't win just because he was calling the shots. Nah, he had to let his coaches, you know, use their great mind to do what they need to do. And that's like, and I play Coach Kelly the same way. He's not going to come in and take the script and say, no, we're going to call these plays. No, he's going to let Coach Denbrock do what he do best.
Absolutely. And when I was down in Baton Rouge covering practice and I saw you receiving a lot of reps, how did you feel spring went for you overall?
I'm allowed to. I feel spring showed a lot of people that what they saying I couldn't do, I can do. You know, being in spring showed people that I'm ready to, you know, become a major, vital part of this team this year. You know, and I had some, and just like it's football, you're going to have some bad plays, you're going to have some great ones, but I had way more good plays than I had bad. And that's how I know I'm getting back to me. That's how I know I'm getting back to that dog. I'm healthy. I told anybody. I told my trainer every day, you know, Shot. And shout out to Shot too. He's a great reason why I'm even back where I'm back today. I tell him every day, when I get healthy, it's over. And when I got healthy, looking at that spring, looking at the way I was opening holes for Josh Williams, who was a great running back, looking at how I was opening up for holes when we had our pulling plays, and we had gas games, we had everything. The world saw what I could do, and it's just time to put them on notice. I know they're still gonna doubt me. I know they're still gonna feel like this person better than me, but I'm gonna prove them every day, every game this season that with the thing y'all forgot about, y'all shouldn't have forgot about.
And though you were starting a lot on either first or the second team O line most of spring ball at right guard, do you feel like it'll be a tough go there as far as competition when Anthony Bradford and Marlon Martinez return to health?
Yeah, they're great players, but I believe in myself and I know what I can do. And I know that if it's fair and I'm allowed, I will be starting. Them two guys that can play multiple positions. So, I'll plan them might not even be right guard. That's up to the coach. That's up to what they feel. But I know after doing what I'm doing in that spring game, I know they for sure, got the idea of who they want to be the right guard. And I don't mind no competition. They come with it. But we're going to compete. I know everybody's going to get a fair shot. And I plan on coming out with the starting job.
That was something I really was going to also bring up too, is the fact that you could put Anthony Bradford at left tackle to make sure that you're there at right guard, or you could move Marlon Martinez to left guard technically, right? I mean, I feel that this offensive line is a bit of a puzzle piece, whereas a lot of the analysts you hear from are just thinking you guys are going to be filling in the spots that you're listed at. Do you feel like I'm kind of more correct, or that the analysts are?
I just no offense to the analysts, but man, we don't even have positions right now.
Exactly.
Like, when we do our team drills, bro, we everywhere. Like, we don't even have the starting lineup like at all. So it's just a lot of people be talking. Some people have what they like the most. It's more of a popularity contest sometimes. So and you're more right than they always say, because you're not just okay, this person under this. Like, it's kind of like you can't piece something together that's not there yet. We haven't had one spring and one fall camp day yet. So for fall camp day, I can see people making their opinions, but till then, it's like you got to be quiet.
What about your game separates you in the trenches, Kardell, from others?
My speed, me running track and high school, me doing different things. I feel like spring, that was only 30% of what I will do. Right now I'm working on getting my weight all the way down, and I'm trimming up. So in fall, I'm looking to be 328, all the way trimmed up, and just a machine. The spring was just hacking up with the intro to what's coming in the fall. So my game, I'm different in that aspect. I'm the strongest lineman I feel like in the nation. My feet, my footwork, I feel like it's off the box now more than it was spring, so I've been working on. And it's just, I'm a constant, constantly trying to work on my technique, constantly trying to get better in everything. I'm not there yet at all, but what I did accomplish is better than what I was preaching. So to me, important is I can say work ethic and just extra trying to learn it. I think I know everything. How to block this. Well, okay, I might need to take this step to get there quicker. Just trying to be a student of the game is what I feel like set me apart and will set me apart.
So far, I know it hasn't been too many practices, but so far, who's been the toughest D lineman you think you've faced on the field so far?
All of them, man. But if I would have to say one, it would probably be Makai. Because Makai's more like Aaron Donald. He's short, kind of short.
Mekhi Wingo, of course, right?
Mekhi Wingo.
Man, he's gonna love that you just said he's Aaron Donald, dude. Do you know how big of a fan of Aaron Donald he is?
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna love that. Wow. So Mekhi Wingo, the new transfer, 16th rated transfer in the country. You consider him to be the toughest D lineman you faced against?
All of them tough. I ain't gonna say he's the toughest, to negate the fact that the other guys were hard too. But this the fact that he's kind of short, so you got to really get under him. You know, he's strong too. So that's what it is. But all those guys are great guys, and they got better in the spring, and they're gonna be one of the best D-lines this year.
Do you feel you're bringing a veteran presence to LSU's O-line room, considering you've been there 3 seasons and you're wearing a national championship ring?
Oh yes, sir, most definitely. I feel like I bring, you know, realness to the group and reality. You know, I don't like to be that person that you know, tell a lie or make people think something is easy when it's hard. You know, I definitely bring a great presence to the room.
And is Will Campbell our starting left tackle as a freshman?
Like I said, you know, that's something y'all gonna have to wait and see. He started in the spring, and Will's a great guy. First, you know, to say he's young, man, Will is somebody that we can have around 24/7. You know, his energy, all those guys, Emory, everybody, Fitzgerald, all the guys that came in, both, everybody. You know, he's a great player, man. And Paul Campbell tell all, you know, Will most definitely can be starting left tackle.
Have you taken any of the younger Trenchmen under your wing? You know, these freshmen, Bo Bordelon, your cousin Emory Jones, Will Campbell. Have you had to kind of show your veteran presence with these younger guys?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Those guys, to say they're so young, man, they grasp everything so quick. They're gonna be great players in the future, man. They're gonna be great players this season. Everything about them, you know, they're hungry for it and they're willing to work for it. So Emory being my cousin, I locker right next to each other. So I talk to him, make sure you know he's taking notes, and he's not just a regular freshman.
How good do you think? I know 2021 was bad. I know 2020 was worse, but how good do you think this LSU O-line can be this season?
And we can be the best in the nation. All we have to do is focus and work on the little things and focus on the little things, and nothing will ever be able to stop us this year.
You know, I know you're a guard, and there's a lot of really talented guards at LSU. Xavier Scooter Hill, a bit overlooked as a player, in my opinion. Do you think he's hitting that upward trajectory in his development this season?
Oh, definitely. You know, we make strides every day. David makes strides every day. He's working on his strength right now, and he's doing a great job at it.
At quarterback, there are a lot of questions, Kardell. I mean, who will be the guy for LSU? You've taken snaps from each one. You know, Kardell, what are you seeing from each quarterback?
And I'm saying the run is basically like walking in, you know, the store with all your best candy. And these guys are some of the most talented QBs I've seen. You know, unfortunately, one has to start, and you know that would be proven in fall camp. But every single one of them, down to Tavian Falk, to Matt O'Dowd, to Miles Brennan, to Walker Howard, Nuts, Jaden Daniels, every single QB has the opportunity to take us further than where we ever been. I mean, not take us further than national championship, but to get us back there, every single one of them in that room has the talent too.
Do you feel there's a leader in that race? Just how you sense it?
You know, spring never really shows a lot. I can't tell you who's the leader because I honestly feel like they all tired. You know, but it's just like in anything, on any team, one person's gonna do something better than the other one, but that one thing that person does can prepare you to the national championship. So that's why I said fall camp will tell and games will tell. You know, sometimes things switch into the season, but Jay, Miles, Nuts, like I said, Tavian, everybody who gets reps and get that ball in that room, everybody in that room has the potential to be a Heisman, in my opinion, and do something great.
Just a few more questions, Kardell. There have been 30 2019 Tigers drafted in the NFL and even more active in the league. What keeps you hungry to be part of that elite group?
Man, I came too far to not be a part of that elite group. I went through too much, BS and too much everything to not fulfill what I need to fulfill. So the fact that knowing that's right there for me to grab it, keeps me going.
What are you most excited about for this upcoming season, Kardell?
My development, man. My game tends against other great players. Florida State being the first game. I'm excited to challenge myself every day.
Is this a championship level team, in your opinion? Can this team get to a college football playoff realistically?
We have a way to go, but we most definitely will be there and can be there as long as we stay on track and keep doing what we're doing. This brotherhood is strong, man. We in the locker room a year or two ago after practice, you see everybody running out the locker room. Now you might sit in the locker room an extra 3 hours just because you and everybody in there talking because, we think that much of each other. We love each other that much to where, we just want to be around each other. And when you love your teammate, you can play on side of them with ease. So this team has a brotherhood that's unlike, what we had the past couple of years, other than 2019 year. It's starting to feel like that again, honestly.
Man, this is going to excite so many fans to hear about you, putting the pieces together, Kardell. You're a Louisiana local. So many are rooting for your success. So many have hoped for this moment to happen where everything's coming together. Last year, you showed some great flashes. This year, we're expecting great things from you, young man. And seriously, Kardell, thank you so much for your time and good luck this season. And I hope to talk to you before the season starts and hopefully a few more times during the season. I would love to keep talking with you. You're really, really wonderful and easy to talk with, sir.
Oh, no problem. We can do as many interviews as you want. I plan on going into broadcast just having such a type of podcast anyway. So, I'll be kind of prepared for these situations.
Man, Kardell, you're the best, dude. I thank you so much, and you have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, Sabbath Eve, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you.
Take it easy, Kardell.
Yes, sir. You too.
That was Kardell Thomas. Kardell Thomas. Wow. Kardell Thomas with an hour of really, really fantastic quotes, content. He was not holding back when discussing James Craig and his lack of development for LSU's O-line. He was not holding back when talking about his love for Brad Davis. So much to chew on, so much to talk about with that interview. Watch it, listen to that whole thing. I know you don't want to just sit there staring at my face, but you got to hear Kardell's interview here. So much information on the team, on the state of LSU right now. Rewind, check out the whole rest of that interview. An hour plus interview. We did lose signal a few times with him, but got him back on the phone within 20 seconds both times. So really continuous top content there from LSUODYSSEY.com. And thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And you have a good rest of your evening.